In Chapter 1, we're going to discuss the evolution of community policing. Community policing is often regarded as one of the most significant trends in the history of American policing, and this trend continues to evolve even today. As the needs of society changes, so do the methods in which we police it changes as well. Building a positive relationship is what we're trying to do. So what is community policing? It's building relationship and it's solving problems. Solving problems within our community as well as within our government and our law enforcement. It takes a proactive approach from all of us to make a difference in our society. Now let's talk about a little brief history concerning policing. King Alfred the Great required every male to enroll in a group of 10 families for police purposes. This was known as the tithing system. The Norman system replaced the tithing system when William the Conqueror, who was a Norman, invaded and conquered England. Under the hue and cry, citizens had to police their own communities. They had to chase down the bad guys themselves, as a matter of fact. The former British Prime Minister, Sir Robert Peel, recommended that citizens be paid by the community for these services that they were providing. Modern policing began with the London Metropolitan Policing, based on principles that were set forth by Sir Robert Peel. At the time the Metropolitan Police Force was established in London, the United States was still operating under a day and night watch system that was similar to the one that was used in England. By 1700, most southern colonies, concerned about the dangers that the oppressed slaves could create, they established a code of laws in order for them to regulate these slaves. So we're now going to talk about the 3 eras of policing. And the 3 eras of policing consisted of the political era, the reform era, and the community era. Now, during the political era, the police had close ties with politics. They were politically appointed, and they had vested interest in keeping those who had appointed them in power, because that's what their job would really be based on, those people staying in power. The reform era began to look at how the police were serving their community and decided some of the changes needed to be made in order for things to get better, to get away from some of these old systems that they had in place. The police were actually trying to reestablish a closer relationship within the community. Instead of being apart from the community, they are now becoming a part of that community in which they serve. We're going to talk about the essential elements of community policing, starting with the philosophical dimension. And there are 3 important elements in this dimension. There's citizen input, there's a broadened function, and then there's personalized service. Under citizen input, partnerships are central to modern day policing because they recognize a basic truth that law enforcement cannot do it all. Under a broadened police function, this simply means expanding responsibility into areas such as social services and protecting the lives of the most vulnerable citizens that we have out there, such as juveniles, the elderly, the poor, and the homeless. Personalized services tailors policing to the local norms and the values of the community. So you're shaping and making and molding them based on the needs of that particular community in which you are serving. Reorientation focuses on getting the police out of the squad car and emphasizing face-to-face interactions. So these strategies here are called the strategic dimension, and reorientation is the first step, and then we talk about geographic focus, and then we'll talk about prevention emphasis. Now, geographic focus gives officers a permanent assignment in the community, because when they have these permanent assignments, they can get to know those citizens in which they are within the community in which they're patrolling. And the last one, prevention, emphasizes proactive rather than reactive enforcement, because you want to be proactive rather than reactive, because if you're reactive, you're just responding to something that already happened, versus being proactive when you can stop something from happening, which is a lot better than responding to it afterwards. The tactical dimension talks about positive interactions. It talks about partnerships as well as problem solving. Positive interactions occur when police get out of their vehicles and they initiate positive interactions with the citizens in which they serve. Partnerships occur when the police partnerships with other organizations and other agencies. And problem solving deals with getting to the root of the problem rather than just simply treating the symptoms. In other words, you may have drugs in the community. Well, what's the cause of those drugs? Why are these people seeking the drugs? So instead of just treating the symptoms, we need to get to the root of the problem in order to take care of it. In summary, there are two basic themes: community collaboration and problem-solving approach. Modern policing began with the London Metropolitan Police, and it was based on the principles that were set forth by Sir Robert Peel. Policing in the United States has had three distinct eras in which we briefly talked about: the political era, the reform era, and the community era. And last but not least, four dimensions of community policing are philosophical, strategic, tactical, and then there's also organizational. And organizational will be discussed in chapter 5.